Hey everybody, welcome to YOLO with ToLo, episode 27. We are talking about forgiveness today. Let me try to get Lonell here on the phone. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Let's see. Hey Kathy, hope you're doing well. Lonell just landed. Let's see where he's at. See if I could. Facebook is kind of tricky sometimes because I don't know if you guys have gone live before, but when you go live, you have to wait till the person kind of chimes in, and then sometimes it doesn't let them add. So I know Lonell has had trouble in the past trying to do that, so I'm gonna wait just for a second here. But anyway, today we are talking about forgiveness, and Lord knows that there is a divided nation here in America. Things with the Me Too movement, with politics, with so much is happening, and Lonell and I just have been having a lot of conversations with friends just about forgiveness and forgiving yourself personally, professionally, spiritually, and God, it is a journey. So let me add Lonell here. It's pretty lively, so I'm excited to talk about this today. Take a sip of my little Earl Grey tea here. Lonell, let's see. You can add me. But anyway, so we would like to ask you guys today the big question.
Sorry, guys.
About forgiveness. Okay, there you are. Hey, Lonell.
Hi, have you been on here long? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I've just been kind of saying hello to people,
I have
telling
to
them that we
confess,
talk about forgiveness.
I was saying, I need this show tonight. I was sitting here responding to Twitter trolls, which is something I rarely do. But anyway, hi everybody. How are you tonight?
You need to forgive them.
Forgive, yes, yeah. After I bless them out. Right. Okay. Forgive. Yes, we'll get there.
So,
how are you doing?
So you're home today. I'm good. I'm great. I'm here in my bedroom, just kind of chilling. And today was just a really nice, quiet day for for me. And it just been talking a lot about forgiveness with people. So I know that you and I have been talking about it. And I saw an Instagram story of yours where you were just like, what would you say? You're saying something like, "I'm gonna cut somebody" or something. You've had a tough week traveling.
I'm sorry. So the store. Wait. Are we? Okay. You okay? Also, it looked like your face was frozen. You were waiting for me to respond, but it looked like your face was frozen.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. So I had this like crazy, insane week, and it felt like in every aspect of my life, business, philanthropic, personal, just everywhere. It was like all this stress and drama at the same time. I'm like, okay, everybody can kiss the hind parts. And literally, I'm in the middle of all this stress, and I'm on a plane. The one time I'm not grateful for connectivity in the air, and I'm getting all these messages back. It's just stress left and right everywhere. And so I decided that I needed to take a breath. Just go, so you can stop fostering this crazy energy. So I did. Took a breath and literally looked out the window, and out the window was the Grand Canyon. I was like, oh. If all
amazing.
this majesty can remain regal and all this mess, surely whatever this is that I'm going through is nothing.
It's little.
And that actually shifted my energy. And so while it didn't actually stop the stressors from coming at me, it changed how I responded to them. And so I basically took back control of my energy. And so it still was a long day, but by the next morning things were great again. So, but it was important for me to take that moment in the moment and realize, okay, wait, you're only adding to this because you're contributing more negative energy. So
yeah,
that was that. But so I have to forgive a lot of people, including myself.
It's funny how we can always talk about, finding our present moment, finding our gratitude and all that. And then when shit hits the fan, then you have to practice it. And, I think if you can practice it most of the time, or have that aha, or, when you feel yourself festering and getting pissed, for you to just snap out of it and bring yourself back into that present moment. That's really important.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, is actually recognizing, okay, you're in this and you are contributing to this pattern, so you have to kind of pull yourself out of and remind yourself of the truth right then and there.
For sure. Hi, John. John says, that's what I call reclaiming my time. Oh, I've
Reclaiming
never
my
heard of it that
time,
way. I
Auntie
like that.
Maxine.
I love that. Okay. So um, to Denise, is our producer this week, and we got a juicy topic because last week we talked about regrets, and naturally last week we were saying, oh, we should talk about forgiveness because that's another topic that's kind of popped up a lot and has been in our kind of universe lately. So let's get right into it. I love these little stickies, even though you bag on them.
I'm glad you still have them after all these weeks.
Segment one, Tolo's Hot Topics. Um, so anyway, like I said earlier before you got on, with the state of America, with the Me Too movement stuff, with the crazy stuff that's just been happening just even around the world, the whole topic of forgiveness, both personal, professional, and kind of spiritual, has been kind of both in our universes lately. So um, this week, let's talk about this week, you know, how forgiveness has played a role in just your conscious this week.
Yeah, and for me, it wasn't necessarily forgiving people because I wasn't mad at the people that were directing the stressors or whatever at me. But sometimes you just have to be in a space where you can just release, and forgiveness is a release. So it wasn't for me in this particular week. It wasn't about I have to forgive you because you did me wrong in some kind of way. It was more so of just a forgiving or just releasing my contributions to the negativity. So that is a form of
Yeah.
forgiveness because I'm not beating myself up about buying into the negativity, even though it was momentarily. But I'm owning and I'm being responsible for it. And it's not that it's okay, but it's my life goes on and I will be okay. So I can release and forgive. So for this week, for me, forgiveness was really about releasing my contribution.
I had both. For me, there was an internal and kind of external forgiveness. Little things that started bugging me, like today, for example, a hot topic that happened today, and everybody got this text here in America, at least. There was an emergency system that people got, and on my Facebook, it lit up from Democrats and Republicans, and everybody in between, saying, "Oh, not my president." Like they're just so pissed at Donald Trump, and I'm just like, I don't want to get all political here, but I was just like, both sides just need to take a chill pill. Like this is an emergency system test, and I heard people pissed off that they didn't get it, and I heard people pissed off that they got it, and then there was this big anniversary here in Northern California. Remember the big fire in Napa?
Right.
The news was making a big deal out of it and how it's like bringing up old wounds for people, and I'm just like, you're neither here nor there, or like I was just like, take a chill pill, people. And then I started feeling myself getting pissed off at the comments from both sides, and then I was just like, okay, whatever. Like I know we are all on like pins and needles with just with the state of what's going on here, especially here in America, and how it's kind of billowed out to other friends in other countries, with sanctions and all that. And I'm just like, you know what? We all just got to, can't we all just get along? Remember?
Do I remember? Absolutely.
Anyway, so I've been feeling like that externally, and we can talk about this in Digital Detox later. I'd love to just delve into how your mood just changes so much when you are on social media, and it's not even real, but your body feels like it's real, and chemically, scientifically, it's proven that it does feel real. So namaste, people. On the inside, though, I'll tell you what I've been going through, because I work on different projects, and I really look forward to chatting with you every Wednesday. I don't call this a project; it's just like us two brothers, kind of soul brothers, connecting with other people. And some days I just feel like coming back from the wedding. My cousin got married in Maui last week. I was there, and then I was doing a speaking gig in Portland. We talked about that in one episode, and time just moves so slow there, and in a good way. And then here, I just feel so rushed. And like the other day, I remember taking they're big phone calls, but even if they weren't big, important phone calls, I felt like, oh my God, it's already 2:00, and I only took 2 phone calls, and I got like two emails or 1 email done. And I'm just like not feeling good about that. And I'm just like, wait, nothing's burning down. I don't have to put out any fires. Nothing's due.
Right.
So I'm like, why am I tripping? And so, I feel bad for like, okay, I get up. My morning ritual is I get up, have a little bit of quiet time, go to the gym, and at times will go out with some of my friends for a bite to eat, or go to, a business meeting or whatnot. And then I just feel like, oh my God, half the day's over, and feeling rushed. So I'm finding that I have to trust in the process even more, and forgive myself for feeling like I feel like I am not enough, or I haven't done enough.
Right. And allowing yourself to be overextended, that was
Yeah.
my problem this week. With just like having your hands in many things and everything, culminating together at once. It's like, okay, well, it's okay to say no to something. It's okay to detach from something. I mean, yeah. So you have to give yourself permission to just be okay with the decisions that you make, and whatever actions those decisions bring about, that's fine. But you just have to be responsible for them. And I think that too is a part of forgiveness, is that I am okay with the path or the choices that I make. And even if they may not be the best, but they might be the right. That might be the right choice in that moment, or it might even be the wrong choice.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good point.
If it's quote unquote wrong, it's still a choice that I'm willing to make, and which means I'm willing to learn from it. However, if there's consequences or whatever the opposite opposing reaction is to that. So definitely.
So I have a big question for you in our second segment here in Dump the Hump. And God, this week, what was your biggest aha moment in terms of forgiveness?
Oh gosh, an aha moment I don't know that I've had this particular week. I don't know if it was an aha. The only aha was not necessarily an aha moment, but it was just recognition again that I am in control of all this at all times. So whatever's happening to me is happening to teach me, to guide me, to steer me, or something. So I know that, and if it's something that's uncomfortable, or that I might be harboring some anger towards, or any type of resentment, then I know that it's something that I have to do some work with. And that usually involves forgiveness. And forgiveness.
Do you mean maybe?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Do you mean that you're in control of this? Do you mean by saying that you're in control of how you feel, or you're in control of the situation? Because I don't ever feel like, I think there's a false sense of feeling like we have control of what's going on. We have control of how I react.
How I respond to it. I am in control of the energy that I exert and contribute towards it. Because whatever energy you're putting to is going to help magnify it, either in this way or that way. But you're going to contribute to it some kind of way. And a lot of times, especially if it's anger or resentment that you're holding on to, you really have to get to a space of forgiveness. And that doesn't just mean like, oh, I forgive you and everything's going to just be hunky-dory from here. That's not at all what it means. So what is it? Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could have been different.
I love that quote.
I love that quote.
Yes. That is one of my favorite quotes. And another one of my favorite quotes is one of my mentors had told me, when you hold on, you get dragged. Both last week we talked about regret. So if you haven't seen last week's show, you should rewatch it on Facebook here. But we talked about regret, and in terms of forgiveness, you have to work through the regret in order to, I think, to move forward to this. But I always feel like you're a prisoner if you don't. If you don't forgive, it doesn't mean you forget. It's not like if there's somebody that has totally wronged you or harmed your kid or harmed you, that you have to bring them back in your life. But the perpetrator, I also want to say all the time, really doesn't really care. They still have power,
right? And they're still going on with their lives, and you're still you're still stuck in that moment. It's not about, like you said, you don't forget the moment. But in order to forgive, it's like, okay, I can't change this the way this happened. I can't go back and change the past. But I can stop giving my power to this person that is holding it over me through this anger and resentment, because they're going on about their lives.
Yeah. You and I have talked about this before too. One of your friends, as for her favorite question, Oprah asked, like, how long did it take you to learn your biggest lesson, or your lesson, whatever lesson it is?
What is the lesson that took you the longest to learn?
Yeah. So for me, I want to kind of, play around with that question and ask you guys at home, and ask you, how long did it take you to come to this life lesson about forgiveness?
Forgiveness for me, probably, it happened in stages for me. I think the most critical one was probably about 10 years ago. And when I finally decided to spread my dad's ashes on San Francisco Bay after they'd been sitting in the garage for a decade. That's a whole,
What?
that's a whole other story.
That's a whole nother show.
Ooh, my book is going to be good. But, but literally it was this whole breakdown of relationships. And I realized that at the particular point where I was in this relationship broke up, it was literally almost verbatim something similar that happened a few years ago with a totally different individual. And I realized that it wasn't really about them. There was some forgiveness work that I had to do because there were unresolved issues that related to my relationship with my father that I was drawing and contributing to in these relationships. And so I had to get to a place of forgiveness, and I really had to forgive him for the pain that I was holding on to. And so I did, and I offered my siblings to go too. My sister went. The two brothers were like, "Child, have at it." But but my sister and I went, and we sprayed. And I knew, I was like, I have to find some way to celebrate him so that I can break this this chain of resentment and anger that I'm holding on to. Yes. Yeah, there'll be details about that.
I know. Your friend Pearl here says, Pearl Rick says, can't wait for y'all book.
Okay.
I can't either. I know. I can't wait to
yes, Miss Pearl. You might be in there,
your
girl.
memoir. Your memoir. So it's interesting because for me, my answer to that is it's weird how our lives are so parallel. You know, yours and mine in so many ways spiritually. Because for me, it took me well over a decade, like 11 years, I want to say, before I learned about forgiveness. Because I had a really bad relationship with my dad. You know, it was abusive. It was just a whole lot of things, physically, mentally, and spiritually for me, you know. And you know, he had passed away, stomach cancer in 2000. And I remember, I think it was 11 years later, I was here in San Francisco, and I was doing a Go Inspire Go, my nonprofit. We were having like a, you know, meet our team. We want to meet you, the viewers. So we were having like this art photo walk in Mission, in this area here in San Francisco. And this man who was would watch me on Channel 4 when I was a TV reporter was there, and he goes, "Tuan, I'm so proud of you. You know, you've done so much to inspire people to find their inner hero, to help these heroes that you're featuring." And then he was like, "How do your parents feel about this?" And, you know, my mom is straight up Chinese. She's still like, "How do you get the word on computer for email?" Like, she's never touched a computer, you know? So she's like, "How was social media? How you talk it to an email?" Like, she thinks all of it's the same. Anyway, bless her heart. And so the crazy thing is that, so I was like, you know, that's my mom. I was explaining that to him, and I said, and then my dad, and I was so mad at my dad, and this just bubbled up. It was weird how things kind of, grief happens and things bubble up. And I said, kind of, you know, F my dad, you know, he's not proud of me. He's dead and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he still wanted me to be a doctor, and I was still working through that, you know. And the craziest thing is Fiona, one of my spiritual friends, who's coming to visit me here in America in October. I'm so excited. She's coming from the UK. She's very spiritual, intuitive. And that week, I had not posted it and not told anybody, and not told a single soul about this, like, F my dad, he's not proud of me moment. Guess what? She was like, in her British accent, I have a really bad British accent, but I like pretending that I have a good one. But she pinged me on Facebook, and she goes, "Darling, can you speak?" You know, and so we got on the phone, and she was like, "I was putting the kettle on, and I heard your dad's voice."
Wow.
And I hadn't told her anything about my dad. She goes, "And he said he was proud of you." Can you believe that?
Right. You're like, wait, what?
I was like, what? I was like, are you trolling my mind? I mean, I didn't write it down. I didn't tell anybody on social media. It was not public. I didn't even tell anybody personally, you know? So I had this aha, and I had this sense of overwhelming, like, whoa. Like, it was a spiritual thing where I was just like, wow, I really have to let go and forgive. And it was literally like an intervention from the divine. Wow. So that was my moment of forgiveness. So that to me, like when you brought up your dad's ashes and I brought up my dad, it's just kind of crazy how like and you're my I don't it's just so interesting to see like what has transpired with you and I.
But you, at
You
least
know,
you didn't
over
leave your
time.
dads in the garage. I mean, in the garage. Like, we had to find them. I had to ask my stepmother. She's like, I think they're out there. I mean, just. Oh, yes. I can't wait to write about that whole
Wow.
story. But
Wow.
yes. Segment
Let's hear
3.
segment 3. Let's hear it. Talk
Or two. Talk to.
ToLo. We want to hear from you guys.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Cam. Okay, so we got some really good questions. So we pared it down to these two. So Bobbie from San Francisco says, I love this for the simplicity and the magnitude of it. She says, when I say forgive, sometimes I'm still mad. What do I do? Wow.
That is good.
That's so honest.
It is so honest.
Good.
Okay, but I think it speaks to the whole thing that people think that forgiveness is just supposed to be, you know, where you're going to feel warm and fuzzy, or that it's supposed to go back to the way that it was before whatever triggered, whatever situation happened. No, you just tell yourself, you know, sometimes you may have to tell yourself repeatedly that you forgive it, because you forgive the situation, because it may not just be as simple as saying I forgive you, because in your heart you may not mean it, because you're still holding on to that feeling, that emotion. So I don't know, sometimes you just got to keep telling yourself. You don't have to keep telling the person. The person doesn't even have to know that you've forgiven them, because it's not about them. It's about you releasing whatever it is that you're holding on to in regard to the situation. So sometimes you might have to tell yourself 10 times, 100 times, but just keep telling yourself every time you're triggered, you have to go back to that space, like, you know, because that's how you know you haven't totally forgiven.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good, because I mean, even if you got to put a Post-it note, I never thought of it that way, because I always felt like, man, maybe I'm fooling myself if I'm saying it and, like, you know, reminding myself. But sometimes you just got to do that. Suzanne here says, forgiveness. It is a choice, an emotion or grace. Forgiveness. Is it a choice, an emotion or grace from above? Ooh, we'll get to that question. But the funny thing is, she kind of, you know, that's kind of part of my answer is I believe it's a choice. You have to, like, literally say, okay, even if it's, you know, even if you can't physically do it yet, or spiritually do it yet, or emotionally do it, you have to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I want to move on, you know, and how do I not let this situation take power over me? And so there's so many different ways we work that out. It is not a one-size-fits-all answer. It's some people, you and I love to write, so we write. We also love to talk, so we talk. Some people, we also love being in nature sometimes, right? So it really depends on the way you work through it. But putting that intention out there and taking steps to action, I need to hear, like, you know, for me, I need to hear the steps, or like a menu of things. So it could be, okay, I want to forgive. I can't find it in me yet, Bobbie. So what I want to do is maybe find a psychologist, psychiatrist, psychotherapist. Maybe it's your best girlfriend or boyfriend or friend, whoever it is, you know, to work through it, whichever way you want to. But I think there's a power in saying, you know what, I want to find the strength in me, baby Jesus, to forgive. I think that's really important.
And to answer Suzanne's question, is it forgiveness a choice, an emotion, or grace from above? I think it's all three, and it's in stages.
I think so.
It's all of them, but not simultaneously necessarily.
Ooh, that's so good. That is so good. I'm trying.
But there are stages of forgiveness, because some things just take a little longer to forgive. Okay, you took some money out of my wallet. Okay, am I telling too much?
What? What?
Never mind. Never mind.
There's some things that, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I will cut you if you no, I was kidding. If you wrong me or my family, like, I may find eventually the strength in me to forgive, but will I forget? It's been done. So, you know, like you said, it's finding forgiveness really is finding comfort in the fact that you can't change the past, so you're moving forward. I think that's really important. So question 2, that's a damn good question. Question 2 is from Kathy from Phoenix, and she says, how do you tell people that forgiveness is on your time and not others?
Oh, that's actually pretty easy, Kathy. You don't owe them any explanation. The forgiveness is not about them. You don't have it is on your time. It's your choice. It's your action. It's your process, and it's none of their business. They don't need to know that you're forgiving them. It has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. So it's your process. You own it and do it how you.
Oh, that's good. That's good, but I'm gonna say I agree and disagree with you. I agree in what you just said, but I disagree that it's easy for people because it's really hard for people, I think, to who have not found their own spiritual grounding or who aren't further along in their spiritual path or maturity or whatever it is, right? To um to actually speak their truth.
Yeah, no,
Speak
I'm
their
saying
truth,
that I'm
right?
saying on the question,
Yeah.
the answer to the question is easy, not the process of actually doing the forgiving. That part, no, I agree with you.
Got
That's
it.
not easy.
Okay,
But
got it.
is
Got it.
um when I say it's easy, is it about them? Like she was including them in the equation. No, it's easy to eliminate
Yeah,
them out of the equation. This is your process. That's what I was referring to as being easy, not the
got it.
actual process itself. No, because
Okay.
that's difficult for all
Well,
of us.
see, okay, so I want to even challenge that thought as well. I think it's easy for people like you and me, who it's just like, you know, I'm 40, you're 50. Yeah, right?
It's still a challenge. I'm just a little more enlightened in the process.
Yes,
Yeah, it's still not
you
easy.
are. You're one of the most enlightened people I know. So for you, I could see that, oh, it's easy to be like, you know what, child, or, MF, I don't care. Like, it's on my time. But I do really agree that, you know what, you don't even need to say anything. You don't need to tell anybody anything. How do you tell people that forgiveness is on your time? You don't have to. It's you do you. And it's going to take you whatever time you need. To serve your highest self to find that
Yep.
forgiveness.
And like Pearl
Pearl,
says,
Pearl,
it's like grief. They're similar. They are. It's a process, and it's different for
yes.
each person.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, that's good, Pearl. That's exactly right. I think that's all kind of intertwined. Right?
I'm seeing
In
all my
terms of like
California peeps, like people
grief.
I went to high school with, like Liz and OT in here. Hey y'all. Sorry, just had to do a couple shout outs.
Shout outs are always good. Um, so anyway, yeah, I think for me, like you and I always say, we're here to share wisdom, but we're also here to crowdsource wisdom because we don't know it all, and we're still on our spiritual journey of deeper layers of forgiveness. I think you and I have talked a lot about this even offline. We're further along in that process just because we've had to deal with some really yucky stuff that we faced and felt. Um, so I think grief, like Pearl said, and regret and forgiveness, like all that is sort of tied. And then it also happiness. I mean, it leads to happiness and joy too if you're able to work through
Right.
them.
And I think
It's
with
just
all
so
those
hard.
things, with forgiveness, with grief, with joy, what you have to learn to do is to manage the emotion attached.
Oh
You
yes,
can't, I'm not saying you can't feel. You need to feel and experience the emotions, but you
yes,
can't get stuck worshiping and craving the highs, and can't just allow yourself to be stuck in the lows. So you've got to be able
yes,
to manage the emotion, because once you can detach emotionally or
yep,
or or how you respond emotionally, um, then you will be able to get to the outcome faster. It's not easy, but
yes. Oh
it's
yes,
it's hard to control emotions, but
yes,
that's the common factor. It's the emotion. That's what drains you. Whether it's a high or a low, it's draining. So if you
yes, yeah.
can manage to how you tap into those emotions, you probably will get to the outcome a lot faster or a lot more
That is the
sane.
key for sure. Yes, that's the key. And in any way that you can, And Kathy says for her, bless and release. And that's really hard,
Bless and
but
release,
it takes
yes.
time, whichever
Oh,
way
I
works for
plan to
you.
do some. I've done a lot of blessing out this week, Kathy. I have blessed a lot of folks out.
So now that you blessed a lot of folks, I want to hear about how you. Oh wait, where? I'm getting so excited here. How have you digitally detox?
Digitally
Segment
detox. I
four.
just did something. Um, well, my to, to, on the plane today, and a couple of days. One day this week, I had to switch out phones. And basically, I just turned the device off and was like, oh. And I felt myself kind of reaching for it or whatever. I'm like, no, what is it? No, no. So for me, I know it's been, for me, I've got to actually just turn the thing off, which I've been trying to do. I have been better though, still, because I still have the app. But now we've even got the new iPhone update, which tells you how much
Yeah.
you've been.
Well, you're saying the app, and what Lionel's talking about is this mute app that we try to do that tracked. I kept deleting it because, you know, even when it was off, I didn't want it on because I was like watching a video and I wasn't count against me. You know, it still was. It popped up and it was shaming me, and I was like, I tried, and after you shamed me publicly, and I like put it back on.
Oh, now
and
I shamed you. I'm
re-download.
so sorry.
Yeah. I have it on video. It was on our Facebook Live from like one of the episodes. But yeah, this new. What do you guys think at home? What do you guys think about this new iOS? It's like built-in update that I guess the goal is for you to be off your phone,
or just to be, I think, cognizant of how much time you actually spend
yeah.
on your device, because it is a lot. And I've got 2 of those puppies.
Yeah,
don't I, Leslie? I see you in there.
Yeah. So Matt, my buddy today that I went on a walk with, was showing it to me, you know, because I hadn't seen it yet. And, you know, it's very similar to our mute app. There's like a no disturb, do not disturb tool. There's a brand new dashboard that tells you how much time you been on your phone in certain apps, and it lets you set up usage limits. So I think that's cool. I haven't updated it yet, so I will update it and just kind of check it out. But love to know what you know.
It's a nice way to detox
about it. Let's try it. Let's try it next week and just take a look at it. And I'd love for you guys at home to try it and check it out.
And something else that I'm doing quickly that I've been doing to sort of detox, like when I'm trying to have those moments, you know, because it's always an excuse, like if I'm hiking or out taking a walk and I just want to have a moment, but there's something I want to take a picture of. I started putting my phone on airplane mode when I go into those moments, so I know I won't get any notifications or anything like that. If I do want to use my camera to take a picture, I can do that without like really like looking on Instagram. Like, ooh, child.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. You know, another tip too that I learned today from Matt was that because he's sort of like a freak with like all these like you know, like I don't even know how to say it, articulate it, but like, you know, like with your Bluetooth on and your Wi-Fi on, that has a negative impact, like when it's next to your body, when the phone's next to your body. But when you actually like do the iPhone 10, when you swipe it and you you know, you turn it off your Bluetooth, or you just tap it to turn off your Bluetooth or your Wi-Fi, it actually is not off. You have to tell Siri, like he's like, easy way, tell Siri to turn it off, and it turns it off, and there's a slash.
Yeah, slash, right. Because it's like
icon.
I punch it sometimes.
And then,
it's like,
then you can put on airplane.
Now I want to get to like where Pearl is. Pearl says she just tracked hers today, and she's on an average of 45 minutes a day.
I know, I saw that.
Like, I'm on like 45 minutes an hour, but
you're on a Pearl, you're on a higher spiritual plane, girl.
Oh, Pearl, I gotta get there. I gotta get there.
I'm 45 minutes every 50 minutes. Okay. You know, that's like worse than you. I just find myself, and I get so pissed at myself when I do this. I just like will swipe up, and I'm like, what am I checking? I don't even know what I'm checking. It's so annoying. Namaste. Anyway, what it should, I don't know if the iOS does this, but what it should do is track how many minutes a day we all spend taking selfies. Not us, because, you know, we don't spend a ton of time taking selfies. But a recent study showed, this is so interesting. A recent study has found that taking the perfect selfie can be deadly. This is what the study showed. More than 250 people around the world have died in the last 7 years. I don't want to laugh. Died in the last 7 years while taking a selfie. This is for real, y'all. And you know, okay, so my first reaction is, what the heck, that's it? I thought there was more. But again, this survey or this like study said that have been reported. So I'm sure some have not been reported. But locally here in San Francisco, where I live, I have actually yelled at people and said, "Hey, get out of the way!" And like, cause people, you know, there's a lot of hills here, so people are like there taking their selfie, and a car would just come right behind them, and almost like it would have literally graze some of them. So
the people that are taking these selfies that are dying are doing dangerous things. They're taking them in dangerous situations primarily.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that sometimes.
So, yes. Oh, and you know, when I went to Peru, was it like not last summer, but the summer before that, a German man, I think he was like in his 50s, had fallen off. We were at Machu Picchu, and Huayna Picchu, for y'all that have been there to Machu Picchu in Peru, Huayna Picchu is even the taller mountain. And a German man in his 50s fell to his death a few days before we got there because he was trying to take the selfie. Yeah. But the survey shows, I don't want to laugh. The survey shows that drowning and fallings lead to cause of most selfie deaths. People being washed away by waves or who are out on a boat, and others have died in a dangerous situation, like taking selfies with dangerous animals.
Yeah, see, right. So if you're just gonna do stupid stuff, then there's a reaction to what you choose.
Stop. I know. Where's your compassion? Forgiveness? No. I know it's insane, but I I get so mad when I see people taking selfies of like a baby dolphin that they find, because I'm like, that thing is gonna die. Like, just for your damn selfie. I mean, that stuff like just gets under my skin like no other, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But when I see people doing stupid stuff, with animals and trying to take selfies with them, and then they get mauled, it's like I have a mixed bag of emotions. I feel bad for them, but I kind of don't,
Yeah, I don't want anybody to lose their life, or like it wasn't a
or get
selfie,
injured.
but like when
Yeah.
there was a woman on safari with her kid and she jumped out because she wanted to see the wild beast up close. I'm like, okay, now see, you deserve whatever you get. You just
Stop.
You just get what you get when you do stupid things like that. And maybe they're not stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel like it's like, that these laws or rules don't apply to you. Okay, well, you're gonna learn today.
Oh, namaste. Anyway, I will try to find it in myself to try to forgive people that just irk me too. That when we're out and about and they're taking selfies and I see them putting themselves in dangerous situations. But like, I think I'd like to close out by what Kathy said: the wisdom of Frozen, the Disney movie. She's like, "Let it go,
let it go." Yeah, it's true. Let it go.
Right?
Easier said
Let
than
it
done,
go.
but
it is.
Yeah, it's essential.
But I'll tell you what really helps me work through letting it go is conversations like this and having people like you, our tribe, hold us accountable. So thank you for that. Thank you for this chat. I always look forward to seeing you and everybody at home on Wednesdays. Thank you, y'all.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. Tweet, Facebook,
if you
share,
like what you
all
see
that
here,
good stuff.
Yeah.
Don't miss
All
Greenleaf
right.
on the West Coast tonight, y'all.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. Maybe I should DVR Greenleaf.
The doors of the church are open. Talk to you guys soon.
People are trying to throw shade. They're like, the emoji. Okay. See you guys later. Bye, Lanelle.